Hello there.
Hey, how you doing?
Great.
Uh, it's a beautiful day today.
Same here.
Yep. So, how have you been?
It's kind of mixed, but mostly for now, I'm looking great. Actually, much better than most days of the year, honestly.
Okay, that's great to hear. So, you sent something in the chat that was it said that they were gonna take away certain things.
I think so, yeah. I sent a lot of things in the chat, so I need to catch myself up.
Oh, well, I think you sent something in the chat regarding Spotify and how they changed the rules or whatever.
Oh yes, that. So it's originally this month they were they were going to discontinue most of Spotify podcasters in-app features and divert the podcasters that use this platform specifically on Spotify over to Riverside that they're collaborating with because their technology is, well, in my opinion, kind of better. It also has like AI integration, but of course there's going to be debates about uh, how that will take over our jobs. But as long as used properly and helps us become better workers and people, well, mostly people, I think everything should be great.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, AI is wait. I'm sorry. I was just reading something. It's unrelated, but I'm gonna read it later. It's about wrestling.
Okay, cool,
But
cool.
okay. Anyways, I'm sorry.
That's all right. So,
All right. What was it?
Spotify for
Oh,
pod,
I
Spotify
was
for
gonna.
podcasters, Riverside collaboration.
All right. But anyways, yeah, I was gonna say something about AI.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, with AI, definitely I believe that it has potential to make us better workers. I don't want it to take anybody's jobs or take anybody's jobs away in general. Because here's the thing, as humans, we need to work. Otherwise, it's like we have no purpose in this world. Like
exactly.
obviously other than following God, working is one of the things we as humans should do.
Yeah,
Because for the most part, I don't know, I feel like if you take that away from humanity, it's like, I don't know, we really wouldn't have anything to live for. I mean, I know there are people who complain about their jobs and all that, but it's like, in reality, you want to work to an extent, to a degree, so it's like, you'll have at least have a reason to get out of the house and do something.
yeah.
I mean, I know I complain about my other jobs too, but at the end of the day, at least
You
I
got to
got
do what you got to do.
exactly. At least I got out of the house and did something.
Yeah.
But anyways, what were we about to say earlier?
So, the stuff that I said in the chat regarding Spotify for podcasters, originally this month, they were announcing to discontinue whatever in-app features they have, such as recording episodes, building the episodes with different segments. Everything that you would use on Spotify is going to go away, and instead, those same features, those podcasters that use Spotify for podcasters would be expected to head on over to Riverside.fm and use those features there. And then once they finish recording episodes on Riverside, they can then transfer those recordings over to Spotify for podcasters, and yeah, publish episodes on there.
Oh wow! All right. Well, I mean, hey, if they take Spotify for podcasters away from you, at least you'll still have Riverside, right?
Uh huh.
Uh,
Yeah.
you wait. What did you say? What was gonna? What was wait? What was better about Riverside? Was it just the very fact that was it their sound quality, or was it just the AI?
Well, so the sound quality is one of the advantages. They have There is AI on Riverside, but I haven't tested out those AIs yet. I just pretty much I remember a couple of months ago we did an episode on Riverside just to test out how it would work out, and it went pretty well. And well, everything else about Riverside is like the ability to set the pace for it. Actually, yeah, I did test the one part of the AIs on Riverside, which is setting the pace, so it will automatically trim out any awkward pauses, so the episode just sounds smooth, as opposed to like awkward silence and then talking again.
Huh. Wow. So it just like automatically trims out any awkward silences.
Exactly.
Wow, that actually is a great advantage. I'm not even gonna lie. That's actually really good. I like that. Like, I mean, yes, I can see why you'd want to use that more. If I'm being 100% honest, I
Yeah.
would.
Same.
I mean, but for the most part, I mean, like, it seems like a better deal than like, what we're getting now. I mean, from Spotify for podcasters. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure I legitimately came up with that idea, and like, they pretty much just followed through with it. But that's besides the point. Like, because I did suggest it probably like either last year or a couple or like 2 years ago. Like
Yeah.
legitimately. Yeah, like, every feature that's on there, I suggested. I didn't think that they would actually listen to me, but they did, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm surprised too, to be
Yeah,
honest.
it's like, yeah, I even said like, hey, like, can you show how many the followers on there, and they did that. They did that when I had a podcast. Like, I was able to see how many people were actually following my podcast, and it's pretty cool. For the most part. I mean, it's just, uh, I guess, like, I guess that's what happens. I mean, I didn't expect to get paid for it either, but I just like the fact that, like, I just got the idea out there. But yeah, like, anyways, did you hear that apparently, like, they were trying to shut Alex Jones uh InfoWars showdown or studio?
I haven't heard about that.
Oh yeah, well, apparently, like, Alex Jones was he was pretty emotional yesterday, because, like, I guess they were trying to shut him down or something. That like broadcast from yesterday might have been the last time. I guess the last time we will hear from Alex Jones. I mean, yeah, I have it saved right now where Alex Jones is he's crying because, like, it's like they're really trying to take this away from him, and I guess because he's worked so hard on it, like, I can see why, like, he got emotional about it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but for the most part, um, I'm not gonna lie to you. For a moment, I keep forgetting when Pride Month is. It seems like every month the month changes. Was it June?
But it's always been June.
I don't know why it always seems like it's been a different month. Last year it seemed like it was in May or something. I don't really keep track of like when Pride Month is. I guess it's always in June then, because I don't know. I just really don't pay attention.
Fair enough, neither do I.
Because it's like, I don't know. It's like when I hear about it on social media, I'm like, wait, it's almost Pride Month. Because it's like it just doesn't. I don't know. It's just not really my number one concern.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, moving on.
Yeah.
So, there's this major story that's been going around. I think you would know about that by now, and everyone is sending donations in hopes that you know who would get elected.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, everyone is like, what, how? Like, even if there was something that remotely could be convincing to say he shouldn't have done that, there, how is it? All counts, all charges, all have been counted as guilty, and they're like they actually go with it too. Like,
That just made people like him even more.
yeah,
I mean, like, it's like it's just a matter of the fact. It's like, it's like I'll be honest. I don't really believe all those charges. I personally don't believe all those charges that have been brought upon him, because it's like, I don't know. It's like it's just clear what they're trying to do. They're trying so hard to discredit him, make him look like a criminal, but in reality, it's like, is he really a criminal? I mean, granted, I know he's not the best person in the world, but like he's pretty much all we got. He's the best. He's like the best option we've got so far. I mean,
yeah.
it's like, who else are we gonna vote for? No one is gonna vote for Biden. No one is gonna vote for Nikki. Is that her name?
Nikki Haley.
Yeah, Nikki Haley. No one is gonna vote for okay. no one's no one's gonna vote for
Like, what other options is there left?
yeah, no one's really gonna vote for RFK. And
Even if most of the time he does make a point about how society runs, especially in the U.S., he just he's not part of the two. He's not part of the system in the government to
yeah,
like.
yeah, I mean, he supports Israel, but he's definitely not part of the system.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's like it's just clear. It's just clear as day. I mean, he's an independent who supports Israel. Nothing wrong with that. But like, he's an independent who supports Israel. But he's not necessarily part of this system. It's like he makes good points. He calls. I'm pretty sure he even called, like, these people out at one point. But it's like, I think Risk would make the argument. He's like, you're supporting the state who killed your father. But that's neither here or there. The point is, RFK is just not part of, like, the regime or whatever they're trying to do. RFK is just not a part of that. I think RFK would have made a great president, to be honest. I think he would have made a deep, if not a great one, but at least a decent one. But
Yeah.
he's not gonna win at all.
N- No.
I mean, there's always next year, but he would have to. I don't know. Like, I feel like he would have to start now. He would have to, like, after this election, he'd have to, like, immediately start now. If he's going to continue independent, of course, he'd have to start now. And
Yeah.
you know, and we'll see what happens in 4 years. But and hopefully he's still healthy, and hopefully nothing, like, bad happens, because like he's in his the dude's in his 70s.
Hmm.
Yeah, the dude is like, RFK's in great shape. I've seen him, but he's pretty old. Like, he's old. Like I do hope that he lives, like, long enough, and that he lives longer. But he's pretty old, but he's in great shape. So, and he has a great health. He has great health. So I know he's probably gonna live a longer time, at least. But
Yes. Absolutely.
what do you say?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would just say, like, he should probably get something going, like, after Trump wins, because I'll be honest, at this point, I can't see anybody else winning. Like,
Okay.
I can't see Biden winning. I can't see Nikki Haley living. As winning, not living. Okay.
Wow. That's a wild turn.
Yeah, no, that's a wild. I didn't mean that. I meant winning. Sorry, but
Oh my.
okay. Anyways, yeah, I don't see these guys winning. I really see Trump winning. Whether if anybody out there wants to agree with it or not, Trump is gonna win.
Yep.
It's just inevitable at this point. I mean,
Absolutely.
now we just got to get to the election. When is the election again?
It's somewhere in the first few weeks of November.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, so I guess we're still kind of a ways from it, but still, we all know who's gonna win.
Yeah.
Yep, and for the most part, eh, I'm just not gonna be surprised. I just hope that he does make the country better again. Although Trump is compromised, he's our only hope. People say, like, he's not the rebel he was in 2016. He's, like, more tamed.
Yeah. I could say that.
Yeah,
Possibly.
yeah. I mean, like, there are guys on Twitter who say that. And there are certain people who still believe that Trump is the same, but there are people who don't believe that Trump is that guy, is that same guy he was in 2016. And I can see that, because I don't know. He's probably being a bit more careful now. But anyways, is there anything else?
Have you heard about Netflix AI?
No, that is a first. What about it?
So, you know how Netflix originals are a thing, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, what if Netflix subscribers can create their own shows?
Huh. That sounds interesting. Huh.
Yes.
Wow.
They can make whatever shows they like that comes to their mind, and boom, there it is.
Really? I mean, like, is it for? Do they do it for fun? Do they get paid to do it, or what happens here?
I don't know. That I think that it's just an announcement. They're saying at some point, people that uses Netflix will have the ability to create whatever shows comes to their minds.
Huh? I'm not gonna lie. I have been very disappointed with Netflix, but this is the first interesting thing that has actually been interesting. Like uh,
Innovative.
yeah, innovative. That's the word I was looking for. This is the first innovative thing that I've heard, like from Netflix all year, and yeah, no, actually no, ever. I'm gonna be honest, ever. And it's like, cause I'm not gonna lie, Netflix isn't a bad platform. It's just that like their shows are a bit dry.
Mid.
Yeah, they're mid. Yeah, they're extremely mid. But this doesn't seem too bad. I mean, I might have to check it out myself. When they do it, and I'm just wondering, like, will people just do this as like a fun game, or like will people actually get paid to do it? Like, if they can get people to watch their shows, etc., etc. And there'll be potential, like, ads.
Oh yeah, it's another. Oh yeah, the ads. I think at this point, uh, I've seen a graph like a few months ago regarding to Spotify. Spotify makes more revenue from users that don't pay for Spotify Premium than those users that do pay for Spotify Premium. So I think, in my opinion, the best strategy for Netflix is make Netflix free to use, but make the users pay to watch shows without having ads in them.
Hmm. Repeat that last part one more time.
You allow people to use Netflix for free, but if they don't want to have ads in between the shows they're watching, they have to pay extra.
Hmm. That is a good strategy. That is a good strategy. But at the same time, I feel like they wouldn't do that, because I don't know.
Nah,
Yeah, they definitely wouldn't do that, because, like, it's like I feel like they do make more money just from like people not paying to get rid of the ads.
good point.
Yeah. So I mean, it can be an option though, but it can definitely be an option.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's not a bad idea, but like they probably make money just from people not paying, like, to get rid of the ads, or whatever they do.
Yeah, the options is watch without ads for cheaper or watch. No, wait. The options are watch with ads for cheaper or watch without ads at a much higher price. Those are the options.
Yeah,
Re-
I'm not.
Regardless, you have to pay.
Yeah, okay, that sounds pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. The only If I were to ever download Netflix, it would be because of WWE. Because WWE actually got a Netflix deal, which is set. I believe it's going to be in effect somewhere by the end of this year or somewhere next year.
Yeah,
So
that'd be
yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah. So like pretty much they would be able to say whatever they want after, obviously, like, they get on Netflix, they'll be able to say whatever they want, and all that jazz. But I'm really interested to, like, about the AI. Like, I'm wondering, like, what are they trying to do with this? Are they trying to get people to create their own shows, like, as a way of them making a living, or like is it just like a game? Like, I'm really trying to wonder. Are they trying to rival, like, YouTube in a way? Like, I'm actually curious about this.
Well, two things that are most likely. It could be that they could rival other streaming platforms, YouTube included, even though they're not a streaming platform. They're a platform where you make long form video content independently. And the second thing is, I think Netflix originals have been running out of original ideas, so they're kind of relying on their own paying customers to generate the shows for them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm not gonna lie. Netflix. That's why I don't have Netflix, bro. I mean, I would download Netflix for the few shows that I watch, but here's the thing: I've watched them already, and
What's next?
huh?
What's next?
Exactly. What's next? I've watched those shows already, and it's like I don't want to rewatch. I don't just want to download the app to rewatch them again. I'll probably search. I'll probably watch them another way. I'll probably try to figure it out another way. But other than that, it's like, hey, it's like I've watched them already. Plus, some of those shows are like available on YouTube, so it's like it's whatever. Plus you know but yeah, no, definitely trusting your definitely trusting the people who actually pay for Netflix to like make a show for you. That's good. That's interesting. And
Yeah,
on top of that, it's like maybe a genuine creator can actually get his ideas out there and make as many seasons as they want. Wait a minute, wasn't this an idea that you, me, and Jacob talked about before? In a way,
what do you mean?
I don't know. It's like when we were talking about making a streaming platform. Didn't we have a
Yes.
similar idea like that?
Well, I think I remember we and Jacob had a idea for a streaming platform. However, it's more of on a decentralized basis.
Ah,
Like there's different integrations that we and Jacob had in the past, like connecting what would be revived Byte creators with the ability for those creators on the revamped Byte to create their own shows with their own ideas. We didn't say anything about using AI for those. It was the ability for content creators, the ability to make whatever original shows they like once they've gotten big,
oh yeah,
and other social media related integrations.
yeah. I don't even think AI was a thing. When we were talking about this either. Or
Yeah, and then ChatGPT came along, and AI is all the talk these days.
yeah. But I'm genuinely excited to see what Netflix is gonna do with that. I really am, because it can definitely give people an opportunity who might not want to go all Hollywood to well, technically they would kind of be because Netflix. Anyways, yeah, who wouldn't like? Anyways, yeah, it would give small creators a chance to like really show their art and truly show what they got, and maybe other people will reach out to them and try to get them a deal and all that stuff, and like, hey, they'll they'll be set.
Nice.
Or I don't know, maybe like people can make stuff for free, and maybe if like Netflix sees that one series is popular, they can reach out to that person personally and talk about a Netflix deal, an exclusive
Mm,
Netflix deal.
yes.
I think I think that'd be pretty cool. It's like make something from AI and make a series for Netflix, and if it's popular enough, Netflix will reach out to you, be like, hey, like we want to buy this series from you, and etc. And you can kind of, yeah, pretty much, yeah. So, or we want to make this series bigger, like do something, but or just maybe not reach out to the person and just give them ads. Maybe just give them ads. That's probably all you can really do at that point if it's popular enough. And then
Yeah.
they'll just and then like I don't really know the canceling the canceling would work, but I don't know if Netflix would decide whether it's canceled or not. But hey, or the creator will decide if it's canceled enough. But either way, it's definitely fun to think about.
Yeah.
So is there anything else in the news?
Have you heard about Ryan Garcia?
I have. What about him?
Um,
What did he?
this is pretty. It's pretty damning, but
What did he do?
uh, this is video from Dylan Page on TikTok. I'll play for you right now.
I was so close to this video, but I just have to say it. Ryan Garcia is what's wrong with the internet. Now, listen, you guys know that I've never used my platform to share my personal opinion about someone before. The internet has enough of that already. But I have to make an exception for this. Boxer Ryan Garcia started generating a lot of attention in the last couple of months because of the wild things he was saying and doing online. He made claims like Elon Musk is the Antichrist and a clone, predicted an earthquake would destroy Hollywood and Las Vegas, claimed that he is a billionaire. He has a picture of a real alien. He will be running for president. He has the full Epstein list. He was kidnapped by the Illuminati. And on Instagram Live, he said that the FBI and CIA was lowering his view counts to stop the truth. And I mean, the list goes on and on. But here's the problem. Make all the claims you want about aliens and clones. But the real issue arrived is when he started mixing in genuinely serious topics like child trafficking and that he was actually assaulted as a child at Bohemian Grove. And for a while, people were thanking him for raising awareness about this serious and real problem. All until he comes out after his fight and says he faked everything.
Was this all an act? What part of it was real? Tell us about it.
Hey, we have it pre-recorded months ago. What did I say was gonna happen? I said I'm about to make sure everybody thinks I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Wow, this is gonna be called the Great Escape. Like I have it all documented. I was already planning it, weeks and weeks and months behind. I don't know what made me come up with the idea. Honestly, I just one day just decided just to go all in and just commit to a plan that I had. And I was not going to budge for nobody. It didn't matter if I went on his podcast, anybody's podcast. I was acting like sporadic. Like crazy. I would go on.
Your mannerisms,
spaces,
you were just like
spaces. I'll do this with my nose. It's just a tick. I had everything.
But you see,
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, it's pretty damning. So pretty much he faked everything just to sell a fight.
Sadly, yes.
That's sad. It really is. I don't really know. I don't really know what to say about that.
Me neither. Like, look, I understand there are serious issues in terms of the society that we live in, but nah, you can't make this stuff up. You can't just say that as a way of gaining publicity. And also, if and this is and I'm genuinely being honest about this. If at any point he did say these serious things that are genuinely an issue, and he was to be, offed for saying that, by now we should have known that he's gone off somewhere and then come back a few months later. Similar to another person that had said something, left for a few months and come back a few months later, like we would know by now if this was something that he was held at gunpoint if he knew about it. But since he's still walking about and he still is the person that he is, yeah, you just don't know until you actually look into the stuff to see if people mean it, and when they do say the things that they say, what happens to those people after they say that? Do they continue with their lives, or do they just go away for a few months, then come back as if nothing ever happened? There's a lot of questions in terms of what's been said, what we're experiencing, and what happens, and all the other aftermath stuff.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Yeah, I really do. It's like, you really, I don't really know what to say, man. Like, I just agree.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, and this whole Ryan stuff is like, I don't know, man. It's one thing to sell a fight, but it's like if you really have to fake all that just to sell a fight, bro, you're pathetic.
Like, again, I'm speechless. We are aware that there are serious issues, and especially that restricts us of our rights, and of course there is other serious issues in regards to other people's safety, especially young individuals. But yes, you cannot bring these issues up as means for promotion. It would have to be through awareness, genuine awareness and support.
Exactly. It's just tasteless at that point, man. It really is tasteless, which makes me think like what else was he faking?
Uh, in that video from Dylan Page on TikTok, he said something about Prime having some kind of dangerous substances, but after Logan Paul, I'm not sure what happened, but I remember another guy trying to call out Logan Paul for Prime for having something in it, but Logan Paul made a response to that saying it's all completely safe. What what the system we have is state level standard. This your state should have it as means to as a means of safety and health regulations. Logan Paul definitely made a response to this one guy that said that Prime is bad for people, and Logan said that it's completely safe. I think same can be said for Ryan Garcia about his claims with Prime. I assume Logan Paul would have said something private
So
DMs about
so
that. So,
so
and
pretty much the whole thing about Prime giving people seizures was fake as well.
I guess so. But there's also other substances I can't think from the top of my head. But one of the substances, people think it was life threatening. It could cause some health issues. That just wasn't the case. And of course, Ryan Garcia did make an apology in regards to the claims he made about Prime. And in that apology, he was seen drinking that Prime.
Ryan?
Ryan Garcia, he made the apology saying, I'm sorry for the claims that I made about Prime. And then during that same recording, he was drinking the Prime bottle after that apology. It
Ryan,
genuinely shows.
yeah, Ryan's just a hypocrite, bro. Honestly, Ryan is just a hypocrite. I mean, also, like, I don't know if he was scared or if, like, he was just, like, making jokes, but it's like, bro, Ryan's just a genuine hypocrite. I mean, like, if he's really bound to make serious claims just to sell a fight that wasn't even a real fight. He was literally dominating the entirety of that fight. Devin wasn't even fighting back. Like, Devin legitimately was not even fighting back. So it's like that fight, although a little bit funny, it's just like, bro, it's like, what was the point, man? It's like you sold a fight, you made a bunch of money, okay? So, I mean, it's like it. All right,
Now
that's
the
just.
question now the
That's,
question would be, what would happen if he didn't go through with what he did? That would get him a lot of attention. Would the fight that he had still get the same amount of publicity? Would he still win that fight regardless of what we've seen? Does beg the question in terms of what the outcome would be, whether or not.
I would hope slash assume he would win that fight, because it's like, I don't know if you really needed all that just to win a fight, bro. Actually, I'm pretty sure none of that even contribute to him winning the fight. But hey,
But I think in terms of attention, it just wouldn't be the same.
yeah,
Like I honestly, but before the claims Ryan Garcia made, I didn't know who he was. All I know Garcia is he was the guy that made these claims about Bohemian Grove, Prime.
he was probably never even in Bohemian Grove.
Possibly, yeah, that could be it.
I mean, like, it's like, yeah, he said he was going to release proof after the fight. He has no proof at all whatsoever. So it's like, it is what it is.
Yeah. So more of the lesson, like for real. If you hear something online, it is very important that you look up what they do, what they have said in the past, and have they gone through with what they promised. It could be that celebrities and or influencers could be, or maybe actually, be as bad as the politicians that we see today. I'm just saying. I'm not saying if it's true or not. It's just a question. The thing, and that's all we have to think about.
Can influencers be as bad as politicians?
Yes, that is the question.
Yeah.
This is not a confirmation. It's just a genuine question. Because what we have seen, and many of the associations and many of the times we've seen this, we really have to start asking questions.
I mean, I think
Like,
they can. For the most part, I would say like if you pay an influencer enough money, probably money that they've never seen before, they'll do whatever you want.
yeah,
So, I mean, yeah. I mean, come on now. I mean, come on now, man. It's like yeah. All they gotta do is just scar you for life. I think this is what Kanye said like last year. They want to traumatize and monetize. All they gotta do is just traumatize you, get you scared, and then monetize you and have you do whatever they want. Have you do whatever they ask, like no matter what. Even Eminem sold it. Even Eminem sold his soul. Well, he probably been did that a long time ago, but it's just really noticeable now. Stuff that Eminem would not even would stuff that Eminem wouldn't even do years ago.
yeah,
But I don't know the guy personally. He probably would have. Uh, it just seemed like he wouldn't do that stuff. It just seems like he wouldn't do some stuff years ago. That's it.
true.
All for money that you're gonna end up spending. Um, anyways,
On supercars, massive mansions, and a lot of girls, I guess.
a lot of girls, I guess.
if they if there are any.
Yeah, pretty much. Or uh, yeah, like pretty much. Yeah, that's really what they're gonna use the money for. I mean, and it's just kind of sad because it's like I don't know. I always did have this innate feeling inside of me that is like I don't know. It's like I knew money wasn't essential to life, but it's like I just didn't really see a reason to, you know, love or care about it. But I just saw it as a need of survival. If you want to live in like the city or anywhere that's expensive, really. Like any city, anywhere that has a city that's expensive. I mean,
Hmm.
unless you're living like on a mountaintop, or like in the woods, or it's anywhere where there's barely anything, or unless you have your own land and you don't have to like pay rent at all. It's like, bro, it's like you're doomed.
Yeah,
So it's like the reason why people obsess over money, and the reason why people obsess over like having a job and getting this and that, etc., getting that promotion, is because it's a way to live. You have to make money in order to live in a society that doesn't incentivize you to do that pretty much made things easy. It doesn't incentivize you to grow food or do anything, do all that work, etc. All you gotta do is just work and then buy and then get paid in 2 weeks and then buy whatever you gotta buy from the store that's already grown or that's already made in a lab or whatever. I sometimes suspect that the grapes that are in some stores are like grown are like genetically modified, but that's besides the point. And it's like really in a way nothing is good for you, but at the same time it's like what can you really do about it?
yeah,
I mean, I guess what you can do about it is like just not eat too much of it, otherwise you will get sick. But that's really the only thing I can think of to do.
yeah. And of course, we're the only species, us humans, we're the only ones paying to live. You don't see monkeys, dogs, cats, cows, chickens, whatever animals doing the same that we're doing.
Exactly. You don't see animals doing that because we're humans. You can control animals, but not in that sense. Animals can't pay you. Animals uh animals are innocent. Like you can't really do that with animals, but you can do that with humans. It's like stuff that stuff that God gave us for free, like apples, water, any fruit, really, we're paying for it. And it's like yeah, but yeah, it's like dogs and other animals don't have to pay for it, but we're paying for it.
Yes.
And I say this, like, pretty much people put so much emphasis in making a dollar, but in reality, the government can literally make that dollar useless. Then what are you obsessing over?
Yeah.
Something that's useless. It's a piece of paper, anyways. A valuable piece of paper for only God knows how long. It might not even be valuable next year, or the year after that, or in like 10 years from now, probably 5. That piece of paper will probably be 100% useless in the next couple of years, and people are selling their souls for that. I mean, like, if they introduce CBDCs, then people are gonna be obsessing over a digital coin. It sounds
That's
ridiculous.
wild. Yeah,
That,
that's wild.
that sounds ridiculous. Coming out of my mouth. That sounds ridiculous.
No one would ever agree to this.
Oh, but they will. They will, because they'll agree to own nothing, and they'll be
Yes.
happy because I don't know. Like, people just don't want to work hard. And you know what? Intrinsically, I don't want to work hard either, but I have to.
But it has to be done.
Exactly. Intrinsically, we're all lazy. Intrinsically. But it's like,
Yes.
who's going to really do the hard work? And no one else. Not your mom, not your dad. Well, your mom and your dad will do it when you're young, but like when you grow up, you have to do the hard work. You have to do, like, the hard work yourself. But, like, for the most part, it's like, really, there's nothing really to um I'm not gonna say there's nothing to look forward to. There is. I mean, there's definitely some positives in this life, but there's also some negatives. I would say, like, try to. I would say just try to get away from it all, and you know, have a family, live somewhere where it's. Although I can't imagine anybody living anywhere where it's not controlled as much, but try to get out of, like, any big cities or anything like that, and just try to uh, be independent to an extent. And I say to an extent because it's like you're never really gonna truly be independent, because you're gonna have to rely on something.
Yeah.
Like, whether if it's God or whether if it's like in the world, you have to rely on something, and or just simply rely on yourself. But
Indeed.
that's just my take on it.
Absolutely.
But anyways, what else is there?
Let's see. Oh yeah. So whilst what trial went on and the outcome has been delivered, uh, Trump has managed to gain. Oh, I lost it now. At least 1.5 million, well, nearly 1.5 million followers in a day, while Biden has only managed to get like roughly 300,000 to 400,000 in just 3 months.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, I saw an Instagram post, but I just missed it now.
It's kind of funny. Biden's
Yeah,
definitely Biden's definitely not winning this.
nope. It's, I think it's over.
Bro, Biden is my president. He has to win.
Uh, well, the numbers aren't looking good.
Biden will pull through.
Well, may not have the strength for it left. Enjoy it while it still lasts.
Let me stop. I don't even like Biden like that, bro. Come on now. But yeah, it's like, all right, but that 3 months, wow, and it only took Trump a day to gain that many. That's crazy.
Yes, nearly 1.5 million followers.
Wow. How how are you trying to discredit him? But ultimately, this is just making him even more popular.
Well, I had a feeling that, well, as much as there are certain things that we want to happen, because we, from past experience, when Trump was president, he is a businessman. Like, every country is a business on its own, and during Trump's time as president, there has been signs of economical prosperity. Because again, Trump's a businessman, and he operates in America as if it was a business. Now, not many people want to say that a country should be a business because there's people live in this country. That is understandable, but of course, there has to be some kind of revenue generated for people to have a decent living and be able to afford the essential needs they want. Like, there has to be something to ensure people have the proper access that they they arguably need.
That's true. And yeah, it's like you said, Trump is definitely a businessman. So like, he definitely knows what to do in terms of business and how to. He's pretty much running the country like a business, which practically it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
practically. The country is a business in a way.
yeah, of course, yeah, and I know not a lot of people don't want to think business minded because, of course, because people have lives to live on, and I agree with them. I understand that, but of course, there's 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 economies in this world, and there's jobs, there's making revenues, and there's like different sectors in that nation. Yeah, how can you? I'm not. I am genuinely not sure. How could people make an argument against countries on a business when there's some kind of monetary circulation amongst the people and governmental sectors? What like any circulation of money in general? What argument can we make?
Can't really make much of an argument there. I mean, the country is definitely like a business, and it's business orientated in every way, shape, or form. So I mean, we really can't make an argument on that.
Yes, and money's getting passed around from person to person in exchange for goods and services.
Exactly. So what can you really do? Nothing. A bunch of nothing. But yeah, it's like for the most part, yeah. Whenever you run a country, it's a business at the end of the day.
Yes, like there's money going around, and there's like other companies in those nations providing whatever services they can. So of course, again, nothing has to be argued about. It
Yeah,
is what it is.
A country is always a corporation. At the end of the day, the entire world's a corporation. America's a corporation. I don't think the public don't really talk about this, but Britain, when Britain colonized the world, right, they didn't actually colonize it with armies. They colonized it with corporations. It was bankers that effectively created companies to seize countries. And that was basically their early stage version of a business. Like America, right? The colonization of the country you live in there was effectively a corporation. There were multiple different corporations that are basic settlements, basically. Like Virginia for one, New York for one. New York was at the start was basically a corporation colony, effectively owned by the Dutch or the Netherlands. And effectively that's basically how they were. Like colonization effectively was corporations. And they had shareholders. But yeah. Like you're right. Everybody has
Enough said.
there.
I'm still here.
Cool, let's keep going. So what are we talking about?
Well, we discussed on a lot of things.
Let's dive into it.
So of course, we got into that trial that's
You
been
mean that
making.
scam?
Well, that's one way of putting it.
Did you see
I
the
guess.
protest in fucking London?
There's a protest in London about that.
Yeah, there are people saying there was like Tony Robinson was doing like a freaking what was it again? Yeah, he was doing like a protest effectively. They're like people chanting Trump, 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 Trump there, right? People think, he's only got American supporters. There's people in the UK that support Trump. Most conservatives. You got to realize we voted our own version of Trump. We voted Boris in. Well, there's enough people that voted Boris in. But yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's dive into it. Yeah.
So we also discussed about Ryan Garcia, and I'm not sure you heard about this, but it's not good.
Pretty much, Ryan Garcia faked everything.
Just
Did you
to
hear about
promote
Alex
his fight.
Jones and that?
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah, I've heard about Alex Jones.
Effectively being shut down by the state.
yeah. Alex Jones was very emotional like last night too. I saw some clips and it was pretty sad. You know,
What are you
'cause,
saying
like,
that Ryan Garcia faked it? He didn't fake it. He
No, I
backed
mean-
down. He backed down
said
from the elite. He didn't fake it. He backed down. Easy. He grew a set of balls and realized I don't want to risk my life and get murdered by these people. So he cowered and feared.
oh, okay.
He probably
That's-
backed down. Like these people, and he took the L because he realized that these people are powerful.
well, he took an L, all right. That's for sure.
So explain the whole thing with Ryan Garcia.
All right, so I certainly sent this in the chat already, like a day or two ago. In that video, I remember Ryan Garcia had an interview, and he said that in terms of many of the claims and some of the serious issues that he said, it was all part of something to promote the fight. I can't remember the exact words, but I remember. I don't know, man. I'm genuinely speakless. I will say that there are serious issues.
Someone got to him, right? We're grown men here. We know about Bohemian Grove. We know about the fact that the Illuminati exists. We're not idiots. We know that. We know there's
Yes,
pedophiles out in the world.
yes. There's definitely no argument about
the
those.
stuff that he's saying is true. It does exist and it does happen. Someone got to him. They either threatened his parents, or they threatened his life, or they threatened his daughter's life. They got to him, like they get to everybody else. And something happened. Also, did you guys know that Hitler actually that Obama might actually be related to Hitler by blood?
Oh.
And Hitler is a Rothschild. Did you also know that Theresa May is potentially related to the Rothschilds as well, and potentially related to Hitler?
Risk, I already know about Hitler and the Rothschilds thing.
I know you do.
Yeah.
But Eric doesn't.
Okay, but the Obama one is kind of new to me. I'm a bit. Yeah,
Effectively,
there's
he
so
was
much
really-
more to me to learn about.
I think it's his daughter. It was his daughter, right? Married an African guy, right? And then eventually that guy would become effectively Barry Soetoro. It's a long story, but effectively it leads back to Obama, right? Remember, Obama inherited a lot of money by this rich Jew guy. Remember, a couple of years back. I don't think it was publicly talked about, but he did inherit a massive fortune. That's one of the reasons why he was so adamant in protecting the oil companies, effectively, because he owned stakes in them. Because one of his relatives.
Okay, I could see that potentially.
Yeah.
How many people are related to Hitler? Apparently,
A lot of these people and the politicians, right, are related to the Rothschilds. Maybe not by blood, maybe not publicly, but they changed their names. Remember, there's a lot of Rothschild bastards about, right? They tend to do this, right? They tend to impregnate a bunch of people, right? Get them into power, change their names, and get them into power, right? Did you hear that Greta Thunberg might potentially be a Rothschild? or related to them.
I think we knew this.
Yeah, we discussed about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Same with Klaus Schwab. But yeah, what can we do?
Yeah, you even suspect that Klaus Schwab was
No, he's definitely a Rothschild. Have you seen the picture? Have you seen pictures of freaking the Rothschilds and him? They look alike.
I can
Who
see that.
knows?
I can kind of see it actually.
I can honestly see it might potentially be from the Hitler line.
Wait,
if we're being
Klaus.
honest.
Wait. Hear this, Klaus Rothschild.
They're not gonna name his name, right? They're not gonna have his name as Rothschild, right? He'll be under him, right? Hitler's grandfather, right?
Yeah.
Hitler's grandfather, right, was a Jewish family, right, who had ties to the Rothschilds. I think I had the picture of it.
So
Yeah.
Hitler is, like we said, Hitler pretty much went against his.
Not went against them. I'm starting to question if he actually did go against them. He wasn't just playing their plan. Aloysius Snugglegrubber. That's Aloysius Snugglegrubber. Name changed in 1882 to Aloysius Rothschild.
Oh my.
Which is then related to Adolf Hitler, whose wife was then Eva Ann Paula Braun, who had a daughter called Anna Dunham, who changed her name to Anna Dunham and moved to America.
Shoot, anyone can be related to the Rothschilds. You can, John May can, I can.
The funny thing about this, guys, I was actually when I was working there, I was questioning, am I actually related to the Rothschilds? Because, well, yeah, right. I've got a grandpa. I've got a grandfather. My grandma had my father in wedlock, out of wedlock, right? And I don't know fuck all about my fucking granddad. My actual real granddad. So I question it. And I question if I'm not related to a Jew or something like that. Just the way I think.
Imagine if your grandfather was Klaus Schwab.
Not Klaus Schwab, but I'm questioning maybe. I hope not, but I know fuck all about I actually know fuck all about my real grandfather, and I don't talk to my old man. My old man practically fucking distanced himself from me since I was a freaking kid. So, God knows if I actually am one or not.
Yo,
I've never actually asked my granny if
Chris, you should get a DNA test, bro.
I'm tempted to. I'm tempted because I know.
I'm tempted to as well.
I'm tempted because honestly, the amount I am thinking, right? I'm starting to question this, guys, right? The amount of things that we know, right? And the way that we think about Jews, right? I'm starting to question, and the knowledge that we know, right? And where I'm starting to question: is this stuff? Is there something automatically with Jewish DNA that makes you understand what they're to understand this weird thing?
Honestly,
but others can't.
I think honestly, I sometimes believe that I'm half Jewish. Sometimes
I question it. You do realize that most there were Ethiopian Jews, and they were practically most of in fact, to me, I class them more as Jews than what Ashkenazis are. So Ashkenazis, effectively, the Rothschilds aren't even real Jews. Effectively, they converted to Judaism.
Wait, so you said the Rothschilds technically aren't real Jews?
Not real Jews. They converted.
Huh?
The Ethiopians are probably the closest thing to real Jews, and aren't they extinct?
AKA the black people.
Yes, the black Jews.
Exactly. That's what I was saying months ago. I was like, are black people the real Jews?
Not all of them.
Yeah, not
There's
all.
probably certain tribes.
Yeah. No, definitely.
But there's certain tribes. But there's also certain tribes of people that were black people that worship Christianity in Africa, right? It was like Christianity flew into that continent massively.
Yeah, there's also certain
people don't talk about it, but Africa is the center of the real world, the center of the world, right? It is basically where Christianity began.
Yeah, there are also tribes who follow Islam too, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much there are different tribes that follow different things, and yeah, you're right. I think that is where Christianity.
But nobody ever talks about the Ethiopian Jews.
Yes, because
they went non-existent because those people don't want because certain people that rule the world don't want us to talk about them. They want to view them as nothing but dead people.
Yeah, because like, bro, they don't want to acknowledge. They don't want to acknowledge us in any. It's a superiority complex, bro. They don't want to acknowledge, like, people.
They also don't want to admit that the fact that Jews basically. They also don't want to admit the fact they keep on blaming all whites. We enslaved them. We didn't enslave you. You think the everyday bloody white person was able to afford a fucking slave? Like, the people that freaking. That's the same bullshit that people say, oh, Britain robbed you from 20 trillion. Bitch, the empire wasn't even worth fucking 20 trillion. At best, it was worth 17 trillion back then, right? That's what the entire British Empire was worth, right? They say, oh, Britain robbed India for trillions.
Robbed India.
The empire was only worth 17 trillion at the time at its peak.
They robbed India.
Apparently, I like to claim we robbed India, but let's be real here. We stopped them from murdering their own wives after the men die, and we gave them basic indoor plumbing.
Hey, we love Indian. We love Indian people.
I love India as well, but jeez, I hate when people say, "Oh, only Britain and America, all Britain and America did was cause war. We gave you indoor fucking plumbing. We gave you basic utilities. And we gave you the bloody modern world.
And this is how you thank us?
You treat us like yeah, we're becoming the third world. Because we're importing the third world. Which is hilarious.
It kind of is.
So they've started. Did you guys notice that they've started already shoving the message down our throats?
What message?
What message?
We do not donate to Pride every time for every time this year. And we've already got the fucking Pride flags in the fucking supermarkets.
Oh.
At least the one I work, I haven't seen it in Asda yet, but I've definitely seen it in the freaking Tesco. Have you guys seen the bastard Pride flag in fucking supermarkets yet?
Oh, thank God.
I have.
I wouldn't know. I have seen a few on social media, but
I've actually seen them.
There isn't as much of that as other kinds of posts.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if I go to Times Square now, I'll see some Pride flags.
Of course you will.
But not necessarily in my neighborhood specifically. But I'm pretty sure if I go anywhere outside.
The fact is that they're trying to do it, and they're doing it in a fucking conservative neighborhood. It's concerning. And the neighborhood I live in, or the place I live in, it's moderately conservative. It's stayed conservative, voted conservative for a long time. Effectively, it's like a conservative majority. It's like a stronghold.
And now
they still fucking said about my area.
In there.
And now they're trying to put it. Now they're trying to put it down your throats too.
They always do though. I never used to fucking notice it. I never noticed it. It was never so prevalent. Now they're just shoving it in your faces.
I think because at the time we were so used to it, it's like we kind of just
brain rotting. What's the thing?
I think at the time because we were so used to it that we just pretty much kind of blocked it out.
It's like freaking 1984. You got it so in your brain that you're so programmed by the freaking system you don't even know it. That's a sad thing.
It really is.
The WHO apparently wants to tax. The WHO wants to control. Co-author of analysis for WHO calls on governments to control the food industry rather than being subservient to it.
What did you say?
The WHO calls on governments to control the food industry rather than be subservient to it.
It's a good question.
Why?
No idea.
Nobody wants. Basically, they're saying they want WHO to have control over what food we eat and how we get our food, and they want to have control on like how much food we actually allowed to have. So effectively, they want to be able to ration food, like countries did in World War I and II. So did you guys hear about the fact that they gave America was giving Ukraine authorization to launch attacks in Russian territory in the heartland of Russia?
Why? What's the point?
That's why. Why do you think that fucking scam of a fucking trial went on that day? They launched that. They gave permission during that. That's what they used that to scapegoat.
How is that even possible?
How?
US allows Ukraine to carry out limited strikes inside Russia with American weapons. Well, that's not a declaration of war to the public, then I don't know what is.
I mean, so pretty much they held that trial that day as a distraction so they can do that.
Yes, effectively.
Wow. All right. Yes.
That's how fucking corrupt America is. That's how... I used to be one of these people that loved America. And now I see them for how they are. They're a bunch of shysters. Fraud, scam artists.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people...
Ever notice that most diabolical villains throughout the cartoon history all share the same distinguishing features? They all look like a rich Jew trying to steal money. You got Dick Dastardly. You got the witch
Wait, back up. His name was Dick Dastardly?
No, it's the guy from the freaking... It was the guy with the freaking wacky racers.
Ah, okay, got it.
I think that's what it was.
His name was Dick.
Who else knows? I can't remember.
I'm sorry, bro.
I can't remember.
That's wild.
You know what, bro? If I were to name my kid Dick, his name would be Dickerson. Although that's not better, it's still better than just Dick.
Again, just launched the meme. Twitter's so good with memes nowadays. Especially ones that are taking the piss out of Jews.
Bro. Come on. Yo.
Oh, I've seen that.
Bro, I seen the Gargamel one, bro. Come on, man.
I didn't even notice that. But now you think about it, they actually do.
I didn't until you sent that the first time round.
I recognize the racer now. I recognize him. I've seen him in cartoons. I just forgot which one.
I think it's Wacky. He's got Psycho Monthly.
It's something.
Yeah.
Oh.
So what is with the... Who knows? So what else is there? What else is going on in the news?
I'm pretty sure Aiden posed like the black and white guy, like on the bottom.
They all look like they're desperate for money, or like they want to shaft someone in the back with a knife.
Just for a quick buck.
That's how desperate, how evil these people are.
Why does the witch? Oh, come on, man, the witch.
Dang.
Oh, wait. Oh, how about Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb? How about him?
Oh yeah, Doofenshmirtz.
Kind of looks like. Okay.
I mean,
Nazi seizure ends Austrian bank power. Rothschild seizes his bank.
Rothschild.
No, Hitler seizes ends Austrian banking power. That's
okay,
one that it's like a.
Yo, was Hitler Australian?
No, he's Austrian.
Austrian. Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Austrian. Lived in Vienna. At least that's the backstory. There's they don't talk about. Nobody really talks about the fact that his mother was his grandmother effectively worked as a cleaner for one of the richest people in the world. Who then one of the heirs to that empire then shagged her, impregnated her, and then did the old rich guy treatment. Hand her a massive check and fuck off. Like all the rich bastards do. They hand you a check and they tell you to go fuck off into the sunset.
So we don't know Hitler. So Hitler didn't know his father. Essentially,
kind of knew his father, but he wasn't very fond of him. And then eventually, Alois. And then when his dad died, he effectively inherited Alois. Eventually, it was worth nothing, right? He was a nobody. He was a small peasant guy, and then randomly receives a massive fortune a year after before he gets inherited, before he gets his inheritance. He then had to. Then he eventually gave his fortune to him, and then he gave his fortune to his kid. Did you know that Hitler had a child a year before he supposedly got murdered? But they say I think he actually went to Argentina for a while, and then he died eventually over time. Supposedly he died in a car crash, and the guy that apparently died in the bunker was his bodyguard or his butler. Supposedly.
We're talking about Hitler, right?
Yes, supposedly. Who knows if that's actually true or not? But
yeah,
let's be real here. I question if he actually did not survive. If we're being realistic, a guy like him, right? He's probably gonna have backup plans to keep himself safe. Probably faked his own death to save him. They were playing both sides anyway.
You know, it's an interesting theory. It's
Why
definitely
why do I have a picture of this weird woman? Oh, no, that's the picture of. That's the picture of Is that the picture of Mark, like freaking Macron's wife? That's supposedly the bloke. So who do you guys got for the UK Prime Minister?
I still think it's likely going to be Starmer.
Fuck.
The way you said it.
Although opposition is quite open. It's either between Lib Dems, SNP, and although very unlikely underdog, Reform UK. That is it.
You think? Who do you honestly think? Who's the other guy? Do you think SNP is going to get votes? The SNP, at least in Scotland, is going to get fucking trounced.
Yeah.
The SNP. We want the SNP.
I think the Scottish votes are going to be. There's going to be Scottish votes leaning towards Labour than SNP.
I vote Conservative or Reform over freaking Labour, just because I know how I don't trust Starmer as much as I could fucking throw the bloke. To me, he is another version. He's basically a stooge, just like Biden.
No, Biden is a strong, masculine man.
Did you hear the fact that Biden effectively got kicked off the ballot in Ohio?
Yeah, I've heard about that.
And the guy, his cause is, right, he didn't file the fucking paperwork in time.
Oh, that is sad.
Dang. I was just discussing with this with Eric, figuring out why wasn't Biden on the Ohio ballot? Could it be like they're trying to set something up in the next future, or maybe they realize they're not going to win Ohio regardless?
He legitimately got kicked off, though.
11,000 politicians and elites received an exemption for the COVID vaccination shot.
Oh yeah, like we haven't heard that one before.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, God knows what we've took. God bless our hearts and God bless. So who have you guys got for 2024 with Trump?
It's likely Trump is coming back.
Like, there's really no other good option.
There's no other option, not alone any good ones.
Actually, no. RFK is a decent option, but he's not going to win.
He's not going to win, right?
RFK does not have the strong support like politicians would get from Republican or Democrat.
Right. Even I think Trump was able to take a massive chunk out of the libertarian audience. He's one of the only presidents that actually went to the libertarian conference ever. And he offered to give these guys a seat. I don't like the people that Trump's got in his cabinet. I think they're a bunch of warmongers. I don't know why the fuck he's got Lindsey Graham. Ain't he a fucking neocon? Who knows? That's Trump. But the only thing I don't like about Trump is the fact he's too nice in Israel. I want someone to go after the central banks. I want someone to fucking tear them a fucking new one. But I know that's never going to happen. So what's next?
That's never going to happen.
I want the central banks to go fuck. I want someone to finally stand up and tell the central banks and the Rothschilds, go fucking do one. And Truss was the only one that attempted to do that. And the fucking Rothschild bastards ousted her. That's why I like Truss. That's why I like Liz. Because quite honestly, she was one of the only ones. She fucked them over. I don't know. Can you guys explain, Jamie? Can you explain to me why the fuck Truss was out? Liz was ousted. Because I think she pissed off the English. She pissed off the Rothschilds. That's who she pissed off. Yet she got instantly canned. She didn't do enough. She barely got to do anything. She got.
You just answered your own question.
She,
You said
she told the Rothschilds to go fuck themselves. Effectively, at one point, didn't say it in the thing.
metaphorically, yes, that is the answer.
Yeah, she told the Rothschilds to go fuck themselves. I wish more people would do that, but they're all controlled and captured. And then Liz called out the Liz Truss called out the bureaucratic system. She supposedly even said it in her fucking book. I care not who owns the fucking currency. I care not who runs the king of fucking England, as long as I control its nation's fucking currency. In our book, supposedly, the Rothschild quote. If Liz Truss was running again, I might even have voted for her, because I actually wanted to see what she could fucking do. She barely got a bloody chance. And then the freaking central bank, the Bank of England, fucking canned her. They had a fucking hissy fit over nothing. But who knows?
Interesting.
Like, what is she? The people that don't you guys, Jamie? Don't you remember? Oh, there's such a Liz Truss did this. Liz Truss did that. She did fucking nothing. She barely got a fucking chance to do anything. She got ousted faster than anything. And it was all the BBC was talking about. Oh, Liz Truss this, Liz Truss this. Oh, she's evil. She's going to kill the country. The economy is going to shite. They yammered it in the fucking mouth. Nobody gave them a chance. Gave her a chance to do anything. I thought her policies was quite interesting and revolutionary. I thought they would actually maybe bring change.
She was literally Prime Minister for roughly 40 days. There's barely anything she could have done.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing that's one of the reasons why I freaking like her. Well, I think she's interesting because she must have fucked them over or done something to piss them off to get her ousted that quickly. And she's one of the only people that showed us that there is no power here. We have no government. When they ousted her that fucking quickly, when they ousted Boris, that's what pissed me off. We elected Boris. We did not elect Liz, and we did not elect Sunak. But doing what she did, she only had 40 days, right? And she pissed them off enough to freaking kick her out. Interests me.
Now begs the question, if she had enough time to get things through past that she wanted, how would the country turn out?
That's what I want to know. Instead, we got the gender equity guy. We got freaking Sunak. And
also Boris's right-hand man.
He seems like an okay guy.
It seems.
He's been able to inherit a fortune. I don't blame the guy. I have nothing bad to say about Sunak. I think deep down, I know he's a shill for the WEF, but deep down, I think he has a fucking conscience. And he realizes, my actions have consequences. I'm trying to do what's best for Britain. And I think he automatically wanted to do what's best for Britain in his own way, but he knew he was control opposition. I just don't trust Starmer. I don't trust Biden. I don't trust any of them. I don't even trust Trump, to be honest. But just what benefits him up? Just off. Knowing the way he's about how he thinks, right? He says he's going to be pro-business, right? He'll tax us into oblivion. A Labour government means you'll be paying more taxes. Because they'll be trying to fund all these left-leaning causes, right? They'll be trying to pay the NHS workers more money, even though there's not enough money. So how do you guys see a Labour government, at least in Britain?
I have heard plans about GB Energy. They're going to nationalise energy in the UK, from what I've heard.
It means everything will be paying more.
Yeah, it's going to be run by the government.
Yeah, we don't need more daddy government controlling everything. We need less daddy government controlling everything. The state should own fucking little as possible. We're not fucking China. The state should own fucking nothing. The state should just be a fucking tiny little thing. That's why I love conservatives, because they think about tiny governments. We don't need a fucking sprawling bureaucracy that is too big to get anything fucking done. It wastes so much money, and you get nothing done. We need smaller governments, not bigger governments. We need less unregulated spending and more controlled spending.
And just like with GB Energy, same is also said for
So
them
wait,
to
they're
do
going to
with National
nationalize
Rail.
BP and Shell.
Well, yes, but there's also same could be said for that for National Rail too. So there's no more Virgin, there's no Virgin Rails, no more Great Western or whatever private railway
So they
companies
want to
they are.
nationalize Shell, they want to nationalize BP, and they want to nationalize freaking. How that is monopoly. That is wrong. That is not
I can't argue with
capitalism.
that.
That is socialism.
I can't argue with that.
That is a monopoly. Government should not be involved in corporations. That is the job of corporations. I'm a capitalist through and through. I'm a conservative through and through. I do not believe in socialism. I do not believe that the state should own everything. That's the one thing I don't like about Russia. But the state owns everything. It has so much power. A country should not have a country and a government should not have the citizens by the fucking balls. I do not want to be paying more. And next you're going to say they're going to nationalize the water companies. The government should not have to nationalize everything. So what else do they want to nationalize? It means that you own nothing. You can't own your firm. The state has to own your firm. Socialists do not like everyday people choosing, because if else they would not choose socialism. Words by Margaret Thatcher.
Oh yeah, I was thinking that. I remember Thatcher once said that.
In the House of Commons. Oh, they say, the working person suffered under Thatcher. There are a lot more fucking people that fucking profited off Thatcher than suffered. Yes, the everyday fucking stooge that didn't work hard and was basically on benefits, never worked a day in their life, a real job in their life, suffered. But who knows? You say does that mean they're going to nationally, they might nationalize first in all the bus companies?
Well, they haven't said that, but I do feel like that is another possibility. But although I'm not sure how they're going to do that exactly.
It can barely afford. Why can't they just be part? Why can't the government take a stake? Why do they have to own the firm completely? Why can't they take a passive stake like China? They own a stake in the firm, but it's still public.
Good point. There's this one thing that, regardless of how things are run, there should be at least a few options to choose from.
Yeah,
not just one.
It could be state-owned, but it also has private. It also has access to the public. The public can buy shares in it. If anything, I suggest the government take a stake in that and actively try and do stuff, make the company a little bit better. But I don't think it should be private, because then only the elite bankers make money. We can't have that. Weren't they denationalizing a bank or something like that? Privatizing a bank.
I haven't heard about that.
I think it was the government was selling shares in NatWest or something like that, and taking their stake out of NatWest. Something that they apparently re-IPO'd. Who knows? What other policies do Labour want to enact? They say they want to cut taxes. I know that's a lie. They're going to freaking raise taxes. They'll raise energy bills. They'll raise everything. And you'll end up paying more under a Labour government than you did in a Conservative government.
Well, I remember they mentioned about a windfall tax.
That's a fucking lie. They'll probably end up paying more money under Labour, because Labour wants to fund all these fucking lunacy bills. Right? They want to fund all these climate goals. They want to fund all these LGBTQ fucking bullshit. They want to fund the climate change shit, where Sunak wants to fucking pull us back from that shite and slowly and give us more time, which is probably a better idea, because quite honestly we're not fucking close. No country's ready for that. And either way, I personally, if it was up to me, I'd fucking scrap the climate change shit, because it's a scam. It's a scam. They want to the private sector wants to invest in that bullshit, right? And try and build up a sector, and fine. I don't think the government is any business of the government to fucking do that. Like realistically, if you take the private funding off the electric vehicles out of the government, out of the fucking if you take funding for electric vehicles and all this green energy shit away from the government, right, and you let that stuff freaking prosper on its own, right, it's never going to be profitable unless you've got a monopoly on it or you're trying to build like solar panels. Can I be honest? I would personally like the BBC to be privatized. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you think the BBC should be privatized and become a publicly traded company, and basically make them have to freaking? I think the TV license should be freaking scrapped. And I personally think they should have to compete with Netflix or ITV, launch a freaking subscription service at the launch a paid subscription service, right? The amount of money they're generating a year, right?
It's
They should
crazy.
fucking pay taxes, and they should effectively have to. They should be a public company.
There are people in the UK that don't watch the BBC, but they still pay it anyway. Like,
I don't.
What's the point?
There's a glorified tax at the end of the day, and I think that should be scrapped. I think Boris should have scrapped it. I think he would have won voters. I think if Sunak promises to scrap the fucking TV license tax, I can guarantee you get a decent amount of voters. I guarantee there's a lot of people that basically say, you know what, fuck it. I'll vote for Sunak if he freaking scraps the TV license.
Well, I don't think the WEF would like that for some reason.
Why? Because then they wouldn't be able to fund their fucking they wouldn't be able to fund their freaking leftist propaganda for him. And then you wouldn't be able to get the message.
But the WEF have other plans. And
ITV, you got BBC, and you got GB News. GB News seems like our version of Fox.
And before that was Sky News, but it's not as solid on the right.
Sky in Australia, Sky News Australia is actually pretty right wing, surprisingly.
Yeah, I've seen
Sky Australia. It's quite interesting. It's not as right wing as you'd think, but it's pretty right wing.
It's there.
Yeah, Newsmax is not that bad right wing either in America, but people are liking Trump. I think there's people calling for Trump to do a rally in Chicago.
I'd like to see how that would go, because Chicago it's rather blue.
In certain districts, I think there is a chance that he could flip Chicago. Chicago's that fucking bad. I think he could flip it if he really put his fucking mind to it. I think he could flip New York if he really wanted to, and if he kept on campaigning in New York. If he's in New York all this time, right, he should just fucking make it his campaign. Start campaigning. Go to the districts, the unutilized districts, the district people that feel downtrodden. I think he's got a fucking plan to take the state of New York. His home fucking state. And the Democrat stronghold.
Well, it's going to be a stretch, given the amount of blue that is there, but with enough campaigning and determination, it's somewhat likely.
There's that many people that are fucking fucked over, have been fucked over feel betrayed by the Democrats, right? There's a lot of them. There's a lot of fucking votes he could fucking take from that fucking state.
But not many people know about that.
There's so many people that are pissed off at the Democrats for letting all these illegals in. There's opportunities for him to take that state if he so do choose.
Things like this take a lot of time.
I know they do, but people feel hurt, and when people feel hurt, they vote with their voice. They vote with their roar.
They want a change.
They demand change. Remember, I think Trump is going to be one of the only Republicans that wins New York. I think he's going to pull a fucking I think he's going to pull a bloody Ronald Reagan and pull New York out his fucking arse and wins it, just like Reagan did in the fucking 60s. He's going to pull New York if he's not off by then. If he's not off. I don't like the fact that why does Hunter get away with all this shit, right? He got away with Burisma, He got away with doing terrible things to his own fucking stepdaughter. Biden supposedly shared with his fucking with his underage daughter at one point when he was younger. He's talked to he basically says they're going to lock you up in chains. Wait, wasn't there a couple weeks ago he made this excuse. He made this his speech saying, "Oh, if you vote Republican, they're going to lock you up in chains." Effectively trying to appease the black vote and basically say, "Don't vote Trump. He's going to betray you," or something like that. Which is, and even then they realize we don't buy your shit anymore. You fucked us over. You despise us. Both sides play sides. Either way, we're both. So when's the Canadian elections? I can't wait. Justin Trudeau's fucking ousted. I want that bloody call me out. Canada, unless Justin Trudeau stays in Canada, there won't be another bloody Canada. Canada will be dissolved. I'm kind of glad that Canada doesn't have nuclear weapons. Also, by the way, like Jamie, guys, why the fuck has Brazil annexed the rest of South America? They're tiny nations. Brazil can easily take them.
Well, centuries ago, when Portugal and Spain were once maritime empires, they've agreed that whatever is on the west, that is belong to Spain, Spanish Empire, and what's on the east that Portugal gets to keep. And well, when the borders were drawn many centuries ago, they just stuck to it. They didn't argue about who should gain what, and yeah, it's stayed like that ever since.
I'm curious, why the fuck, with all these smaller powers, right, but can't economically, but are basically dependent on America, right, or basically America imperial. Didn't I talk to you about the freaking Cuba? What was it again? Like, there's one of those states, right, that was effectively a vassal that it needed permission from America to actually do trade with other countries, right? Like, are you really your own country if you have to ask permission for America to do oil exports from Britain? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
So who do you think is going to win World War III?
Are you sure you're ready for that?
I think I know who's going to win, but let's dive into the grown-up conversation. The kids that have been watching this are grown up enough to have the big boy conversations. I know for a fact that we're probably not going to win, and I'm already ready for the consequences. Let's have that conversation.
All right then. Well, one thing for sure, whatever the sides that you see battling it out, it's a lose-lose. The real winners are the ones the real winners are the puppet masters.
The people that are profiting off both wars, including me, because I own a small tiny stake in BA&E. That makes a fucking typhoon and makes a shitload of it, makes our nuclear submarine.
Yeah, by that sense, you technically win that.
If I don't get, you don't think that you don't think Britain would actually nationalize BA&E, the industrial arms complex, right?
Well, I haven't heard them saying they would encourage it, from what it seems. Not what I would know.
Wait, so Starmer's not willing to. So is Starmer anti-war or for war? Is he willing to continue this bullshit war with Russia, or is he willing to go for peace?
Well, what do you think, Risk?
I would like to say probably not.
Have you forgotten that Starmer, like Sunak, is also part of the WEF?
Yes, I know.
So I think you would. Well, given that sense, you would know how this would go down.
I know where I'll be going.
They're following along with whatever plan
just
the
because
international
they're part of the WEF doesn't mean that they're going to follow their agenda to the T.
But what if they don't?
Just because they are a WEF member doesn't mean they're going to follow things to the T. There's a lot of things. As long as they follow the direct line, I don't think they really care what you get policies you get in the sideline. I'm surprised Canada hasn't tried to nationalize national service. I'm surprised Britain tried that policy first. I thought they would have tried that with Australia or earlier, younger countries. So do you actually think that'll take off?
Well, not to say it would or wouldn't, but if it does, it won't be for a while until it comes into full effect.
And how long will that take to get that in effect? And if let's say this does happen, how long would it be until they start drafting people in their 25s, 26s?
Only enough until the older generations say, do it. We lost pride in this country. Well, honestly, I don't know anymore. It's too predictable. I know too much.
I know for a fact and I'm not an idiot. I know for a fact, but literally, if you introduce a draft, right, and you get into World War III, it'll be a couple months before freaking 25-year-olds are added to it. It's a gateway drug. It's like freaking we'll just legalize gay marriage, right? And then they legalize. You got to be more respectful to us, bigots. And then over time, you got to let me fuck your kid. And then you get to the whole thing where the child diddlers. There's too many of them in that fucking part in that freaking in LGBTQ. Why is such a small minority so praised? They're like what 5-10% of the population, if that, maybe 2%.
I heard there's at least a quarter of the US population that is, well, actually a quarter of Gen Z generation that are LGBT.
What age gap?
Gen Z, so people born in 19 late 1990s till 2011, 2012 latest.
Again, how many of them are just going through a phase? Because a lot of girls in their early teens that love to say, "Oh, I'm bi, I like women," and then when they grow up, they realize, "I don't exactly like women. I like fucking dating them. I want a strong, manly man that'll take care of me." A lot of women like to say, "Oh, I like to experiment and do things with girls." They like to experiment, right? Doesn't mean they're actually going to be gay. Just means that they want to experiment. There's too many women nowadays that say, "Oh, I'm bi." Well, no, you're not fucking bi. You're dating a fucking man. A load of shite, and they know it. So how many people do you think are bi and gay in the UK? Is it worse in America or better or slower?
Well,
Brain-
it's not as big as America in the UK, but however, it is noticeable in various areas, especially in
in the fucking cities.
yes, the cities.
Especially in the fucking. I've noticed this. As soon as you exit the bastard cities, you don't see many liberals. Especially, you see out of the cities, you see rural county conservatives or nationalists. You do not see freaking liberals in cities. Is the SNP the closest, the Scotland's version of a leftist party?
I see SNP more of a Scottish independence party than whatever economic wing they're
I would
on.
independence, and I don't exactly see. Like, if we were meaning independence in the terms of we would have our own borders, right? I don't exactly think we would have our own borders because effectively, wasn't Sturgeon, if she got her way, would have shoved us in the EU, which effectively means we would have give up on sovereignty. We would have no freaking say over our government. You see, in the state of Ireland, they can't even freaking make their own laws. Who knows? Do you think America will grow in size?
What kind of size we're talking?
Expand?
Well, honestly, I don't see much expansion beyond.
You don't think that Canada will collapse and they could technically take the conservative provinces?
Not really.
I think.
I know there's certainly issues within the provinces, but it's going to take a lot more before some kind of civil war in the country could ignite.
Deficit state. Nobody can afford food. There's people living in their fucking car. Like, how much worse can it bloody get? Like, they're fleeing Canada in droves.
Yep.
Like, at some point, when does it come a point when the Conservatives say, enough's enough, we're going to fucking war? Do you think we'll ever see a Canadian civil war? Fighting for their independence?
It is inevitable.
I can't wait to see if there's going to be a Canadian. I wonder if there is an American Civil War. Do you think the Canadians would throw in with them? Conservative provinces would throw in with them. See what fucking happens. Do you think Britain will ever gain back some territory, or is it doomed to be a small, tiny nation with no power?
It's still doomed to be a tiny nation, sadly.
What, you don't think we could become powerful with a fleet, massive fleet?
Honestly, I'm not sure because
you've got to remember, Jamie,
complicated.
we're on a shitload of territory in Antarctica, and when that opens up, Britain will be able to create settlements. The only downside is we can't let them get independence. Well, we actually own a shitload of oil in the Antarctic. Do you think we'll ever be able to drill in Antarctica?
I don't think any country could do anything with Antarctica because the treaty.
Can we get rid of that treaty?
Doesn't seem likely.
We could buy all of Antarctica, right, and make it our own nation. We could build it. Fuck those globalists. Fuck those penguin lovers.
Penguin lovers.
There's fucking oil and there's money to be made. No, there's no fucking capitalist spirit in any of those bloody communists. There's money to be made. There's colonization to be done. So do you think Britain will gain its colonization spirit if we were to colonize the world?
Well, I mean, if they are committed enough, it is likely they can conquer land again. But I think those days are over in terms of taking over whatever land is left. Like, whatever land is yet to be explored.
Is there secret islands? Is there big, massive islands that we do not know about? Have we even explored the entire world?
Well, have you heard of the ice wall?
What do you mean?
You don't know about the ice wall?
You mean the ice wall between fricking America and Russia?
No. I'm talking about the ice wall that we know is Antarctica. There's like other worlds beyond. If you go through Antarctica, there's actually other worlds. People have said that there's other land areas that nobody people know about.
Why the fuck don't we go through them and colonize them?
Well, if people found out about that, then what do you think is going to happen if people found out there's untouched land?
Why don't we fucking do it? Do you think Britain and America would ever merge into one country? Actually, I don't really want that.
Nah. It's bad enough their own countries is. What benefit would they have with a merger?
We'd increase our GDP.
And?
We'd have more money.
Anything outside of money?
We would regain our population and we'd be a superpower again.
And what else comes into that play?
War.
Exactly.
I like war. I like conquest. War keeps the populace from thinking about bad things. The thing is, nobody talks about these other continents. So you're saying there's more continents that nobody's discovered?
Yes, there's actually more undiscovered land if you actually go beyond the ice wall that people are saying is Antarctica. Well,
Why the fuck is that not mainstream media news?
well, if people found out about that, then
Why the fuck is Russia and they trying to conquest that land? Take that land.
I think it'll be pretty far for Russia because it's pretty far from
So where's
Russian
this
Antarctica.
land located? Is it near UK or is it near freaking America?
You can't see on the map. That's the thing. People don't know about it because you cannot see those undiscovered land on the map. I don't know how else to explain it other than send you pictures onto the chats about people
Please
saying
do.
there's undiscovered land
Please
beyond the
do.
ice wall.
Wait, so it's not on maps. You can't see it on Google Maps.
It's
So they
it's
censored
it's
that.
not on maps. If you don't see it, people do not know about it mostly. That's how crazy it is.
So you're saying if we were to create an army, we could effectively create our own country?
Yes, and if not many people, if undiscovered land, and we get to that first, effectively yes, there's nothing people can do about that.
Interesting.
But of course, people who says that's the case, those people aren't taken seriously. So you know something's up.
Are you saying that is? I see. So you're saying that's basically the old civilization.
Pardon?
So are you saying is that part of the old territory of the Tatarian Empire, or is that something completely separate?
It's something completely separate. This is land that we do not know of.
Is it bigger than America or UK?
Technically.
I want the conquest. I want that territory. The amount of resources, the amount of settlements we could create. We could regain ourselves a superpower. We could tell the Americans to go fuck themselves. We would be bound to shackles between a war between America and Russia. It would be a vassal territory at least.
Yeah.
So why haven't we seen Noah's Ark and all that? And the bastard boat from Noah's Ark and all that stuff.
Good question.
Why haven't we seen the Garden of Eden and all that stuff? And also,
well, that's like thousands, maybe millions of years ago. So much can have changed since then.
yes. But do you think everybody will ever? Do you think we'll ever try and be able to conquer those new territories you say exists?
Well, if we have enough militants, there's enough firearms and all the necessary
information on the thing, any new information on the things that you say you know too much about.
Yeah, but of course, there's loads of people saying there's the undiscovered lands beyond the ice wall, aka Antarctica. But of course, people think it's all fake. It's just some kind of conspiracy theories. So make what you will, but of course, not many people would take that seriously. And if it is real, the people won't know about it until it's too late.
Yep. So are the elites prepping to get into nuclear bunkers?
Why would they do that?
What do you think? Nuclear Armageddon?
Do you actually think nations would actually use nuclear armheads?
Yes.
Well, if they do that, millions of people could die, and well, I don't know how else to explain it. It would be an absolute disaster.
Hard to say. You know what happened in the Fallout TV? You know what happened in the Fallout? The only thing that's a little bit interesting how they released the Fallout TV series, just where we potentially are going into nuclear Armageddon.
Yes.
Christian, why would they release that of all time at all times?
Well, like people say, it's better to say now than never or later. It's part of his law that if you tell people what's going to happen, if it happens, you are to blame for not doing something about it. But if you don't know about it and something happens, they're the ones to be blamed because they have not told you about what they were going to do.
When's the go date for the big revolution where they take everything?
Well, nothing is confirmed yet, from what I've heard. But of course, it's one of those when you least expect moments. It's one of those when you least expect moments. So you won't know about it until it's too late.
I can guarantee it'll be right after they exhaust all nations with World War III. Also, are the immigrants actually potentially going to be fighting in WWE3, or are they literally going to be trying to impregnate our white women and trying to ethnically replace us?
I don't know how neither of those can't happen.
I don't exactly think why. I don't honestly think that those people will get sent to fight. I personally think they're going to send all the white people to fight and leave all the immigrants here, taking our benefits while we fucking die.
Well, it's early days. We're yet to find out eventually.
I'm not going to lie. Does anybody really think that these people that immigrated here, right? Does anybody really think that they're going to actually fight for us? They'll be in a war. And I mean the people that ethnically immigrated here. Do you really think they're going to fight for us? Because I don't. I don't even think the people born here will actually fight for us.
I think the reason why immigrants come to the Western world is because the goods and the services that is provided, like in the UK, US, etc., is miles better than what they have in their own countries.
Are you sure? Because Poland seems like a pretty good country right now. Seems like one of the top fucking countries in Europe.
Yeah, but I'm talking about immigrants from Africa or Asian nations, not people from Europe, because we already know parts of Europe are developed as it is.
It depends on what type of country in Asia you're talking about. You're talking about Singapore, you're talking Malaysia, you're talking about Indonesia. They're actually pretty good countries.
But it's countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal.
India is still not a bad country. India is growing. It's becoming very good. Good standard of living. Oh, not so much. Bangladesh, maybe not so much. Pakistan, maybe not so much. But India's becoming an actual powerhouse. It's going to become very wealthy. I'm willing to bet, and I would be willing to invest in India because I think in the short term, we're going to make fucking peanuts, right? But in the long term, India companies are going to fucking rule the world. They're going to be very powerful. India's going to become a massive superpower. Am I wrong to think that India's going to be?
You make a good point. There is at least 1 billion people in India. They have enough people to develop a massive economy.
I have some investments in Brazil, and I personally think Brazil is going to be a massive country as well. I think it's going to do extremely well.
Yeah, I agree.
A decent leader, and it's not a fucking socialist like Lulu, I think they'll do well. But if they keep the fucking socialist republics, right? Socialist republic where they have no freaking right, where the people have barely fuck all say, I doubt they're going to. I don't think it's going to become a good country. But didn't you tell me about this powerful bank that was basically everywhere?
Oh, when I was visiting Brazil, there's Elo, which was established by the big Brazilian banks.
So basically, the Jewish bankers from Brazil.
Elo. That's what it was. That's what it was called. I remember it was called Elo. Elo to Brazil is what Visa is to the rest of the world, from what I can recall.
Do you think Elo could effectively become very important in South America and other South American countries?
I think it's likely.
Like Venezuela, Cuba. Do you think Brazil could effectively shake America's dominance in the South America region? I think Brazil could become an ethnic power or a very powerful country in South America. Economic wise and trade wise.
It has potential.
I think Brazil has potential. I think Africa has potential as well. I think Africa's potential as well. I think they'll be a massive power.
Yeah.
What about Malaysia? Indonesia?
Malaysia, Indonesia. I mean, Indonesia is a very massive nation, although I'm not sure about what big companies are in Indonesia, and
I think Indonesia and Malaysia has become a very powerful economic hub in Asia.
I know Malaysia is rather developed for a nation of
Well,
its size.
Yeah. What about Australia? Could they ever become a superpower?
I think although Australia is not a big player, it has an economy that's developed as it is for many years.
Or are they becoming? Are they coming to the steps where they basically done as much as they can and their economy can't grow anymore?
Possibly. And it could result to them getting like foreign expats to fill in jobs that otherwise been taken over by natives. But of course, they see much more value in those foreign workers that their work skills are much more efficient in those jobs than with native Australians.
Do you think native Australians could be replaced? Who knows?
Technically, yes, but as of now, no, because I don't think Australia hasn't gone to that point yet. But
I think
given
South
Australia's
Korea
current
could become
population,
more
it is.
powerful. Could South Korea become powerful? Become a superpower or become extremely powerful in Asia?
I think South Korea is at a point that that it's in its economy. It's already a big household name with its technology.
I hear about they own a significant amount of semiconductor companies in South Korea, which is going to become very important in the future.
Yeah,
So, what's going to happen with Taiwan? Do you think China's going to take Taiwan?
there's so much that's yet to know.
They're going to invade Taiwan, aren't they? You know that. You know it. You're just not willing to say it. They're going. You know that they're going to invade. You know when they're going to invade.
For
You know.
safety reasons, you said it right there. For safety reasons, there's not much I can say.
You know.
I know too
Obviously,
much. I know way too much.
does it all end bad for us?
Eventually, but
How long do we
again,
have?
we don't know until it's too late.
How long do we have? 5
Well,
years, 10 years, 20 years? How long
maybe
do you think we
maybe a
got?
little longer than 20 years. I think it will come to a point where like very, very, very old, and then bam, that's it.
So how many good years do I have before I'm going to be a slave? Even more than I am now. Do I have 30 years, 40 years?
30, 40 years, give or take. That's possible.
Well, that's a
But
decent
but
life.
at least definitely
So it's not
50.
in the, there's
It's
not.
over.
So what's going to happen in 2030? Is there going to be anything major happening in 2030s, like the social credit scores? Was that extended, and not coming until later?
Well,
Or
depending. Well,
has that been extended or slowed down? Knowing what you know.
um, I think it's slowed down with amounts of protests, people knowing
Okay, so
about.
we've been able to extend our time, so we're not gonna. So they're not gonna get. Are they
So
gonna?
long we keep speaking out of the dangers of what they are proposing, I think if the more we speak out on these issues, the longer it will take for them to be implemented.
How long will it be until they get rid of cash?
What kind of cash? Coins, bills?
Notes.
Well, I think notes would stay a little longer. I think coins would be the first to go because I think those could be turned into other kinds of metals. I think by the time notes get away, all form of physical cash is vamoosh.
When do you think that'll happen? When do you think all the last central banks will be closed? No, I mean, when do you think the normal banks will be closed? Because all of them are closing now, right? But when do all of them close?
2050, 2060.
Is that what you've been heard?
No, that's what I'm assuming. It's not exact. However, they are whatever they are wanting to put out, they're doing it very, very slowly.
So, have you ever attended the WEF conference?
I've heard of a couple of WEF conferences.
So, you haven't attended one. Okay, good.
I have not attended one because if I did, they would know.
So when does the Bilderberg meetings happen? Or is that even the major meeting, or is there ones more important than that?
That's the thing is, we don't know what is important. All we know is they happen, and they
It's clear as
contribute
day
to
they fucking
something.
happened. A rocket scientist can say that.
They don't want to make it too obvious. They spread it out, so that way there's distractions. There's not a lot of power concentrated to one or the other. If it's one concentrated, then yeah, I think it'd be over for them. But they're smarter than that. They want to spread that out, so there isn't enough strong concentration of voice speaking out against them.
How many families is there? Fucking run the world. 13? More? Less?
At least 13
Are they
families.
similar? Are they similar to the names? Are those names that I've got on that list close to what they are, or are they not? Or are they something completely different?
If they were similar, you would know. But otherwise, dig deeping. There was a time it was similar by name and genetics. However, they do whatever they can to distinguish themselves to say we are not related.
Is the Medici part of that?
What is the Medici?
It's exactly. So it must not be.
Touche.
Is Orsini part of them?
Again, touche. I would not know about that.
Okay. Good. So when's the next pandemic? And when do they launch the next the next virus that kills us?
Well, a few months ago, I have seen a couple of Instagram reels. The year is either going to be either 2025 or some point this year, and definitely not this year because we're halfway through. We're already halfway through 2024, so I'm thinking 2025 is a year that definitely rings for me.
Really? Because I would have thought they would have been trying to do it on the election year to try and make it so Trump can't get elected. Make it extremely hard to, so they can rig the election.
Yeah, but the thing is, originally, what was COVID? They wanted to do it later in 2025. However, there was slip-ups at a you-know-what lab, some part in China, and then it kind of got out all across the globe, and
Flip
we
ups
were.
my arse. They use it as an excuse to freaking get rid of Trump.
I
Can
say
Trump
this.
be trusted? Can Trump be trusted? I don't think he can, but it's our only option. It's our Trump.
What other options is there left?
Exactly. It's the lesser of two fucking evils. We have no choice. We either vote for the fucking Zionist or we vote for the fucking pedo that loves to molest his own daughter. It's not exactly good choices, is it?
It's not ideal.
No. Do the elites actually like Biden? From what you've met and who you've met, do they
Honestly,
actually like Biden, or do they think he's just a scumbag and they just use him as a pawn?
I honestly think the elites would see Biden as the pawn.
I think they all see him as a
Look,
pawn.
at Biden's age, we know what he's capable of mentally. I don't generally don't think there's much arguments to be made. He needs to be watched at all times. Otherwise, he's just gonna go drift off.
What's
And
the end
even
goal
his
of
own
the EU?
even if his own parties say, we need someone else in charge. Like he's at this age where he needs to just relax, enjoy whatever years he has left.
I'd love to see that guy in a fucking jumpsuit after all he's done. Also, what's the real purpose of the EU?
It's the I'm not going to say it's similar to the US, but it's an attempt. Personally,
I don't think it's an attempt. I think it's a complete aversion. The EU is something which basically filled with unelected bureaucrats, and nobody really gets a say in who gets elected to that. Is Ursula von der Leyen even elected? I personally always thought she was instilled. Same with Michel Barnier and all these guys. Always thought they were instilled.
The thing, even if there were people that actually voted in these EU elections, not many people would know about it to actually register to vote in these European elections.
Hence
If
how
so
they
little,
control power.
oh yes, there we go. If not many people know about it, there's not much people can do.
So who makes the... So how powerful are the Rothschilds? Are they part of the group of the elites that you know? Or are they simply just figureheads? Like I think they're just the money men. They're just an illusion that the people to trick us, making them think that they're powerful when they're not.
It's a split.
So both.
Sometimes they're in it for themselves. Other times they work together to enrich themselves even more than those that go out on their own.
So there's multiple people. So they're not working together. They're working together, but they're not working together. So they're basically, are they the puppet masters, or are they actually the puppets, or both?
It's very, very complicated.
I'd love to have a rundown on that.
Yeah, but yeah, it's this has been a very long episode.
Yes.
We've gone into a lot of stuff.
Interesting.
Yes. I actually do question if this stays up when this is released.
Well, because it's that powerful.
Yeah, we said way too much.
What did we say?
I'm not sure what specifically, but we said a lot of things on a lot of subjects. We're just not sure which one is.
You'll probably get some type of training thing from YouTube, but who cares?
No, don't bring up YouTube. Look, I'm not going to argue with YouTube. They're doing what they can, but of course, if you know, you know. There's not much I can say.
Yeah, we know.
The thing is, people have roles in this society that
You're
people
right.
do what they have to do.
They're
Like,
slaves to the system.
what can we do about it?
Yes.
Just let.
You can either choose to join them, or you can be a rebel. I chose the opposite side, and you chose to join them. Doesn't mean I hate you for it.
It's not like I have a choice.
I know.
I didn't choose this life. The life chose
me. I
Yes.
didn't choose this life. It chose me.
Yes.
Hey.
Way.
Yep.
Well, anyway, that's the episode then. It's been exciting, I guess.
Next episode, we'll dive even more into what we did, what we talked about.
Yep. Same old, I guess.